Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, for 90 minutes of wrestling chat. Not 90 minutes of football, because that's not what we do here. It's Reece and Eilidh. Welcome to the weekly Steelchair. Short, sweet, we're good. If you're not, tough. But welcome to the show. As the title goes, this is a hit and miss chaotic review. Totally my favourite evolution. I'll let you off with brownie points, even if you have any hot takes or wild takes, I might let you off because I'm an Umbreon fan. So,
that is whole look. You see, we've got the gold rounds.
It's just the different headphones, Billy. I chose to go with these, and then it chose not to like me, so I went back to my work headphones.
How cool's the t-shirt as well, by the way? Like, just.
I mean, I can't really say much when it comes to an Umbreon. I mean, what have I got right here? Let's have a look.
Oh, I could also, just for comparison, I've got the actual.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it's a new haircut. And
he's had a brick taken to it. Nah, I'm kidding.
45 minutes, that's how long it took.
Child's play.
To be fair.
Have a women's hair appointment and then come back to me.
Nah, I'm alright.
I've once had a 9-hour appointment.
I'm good though. I'm good. Speaking of greatness and haircuts, Kurt Angle, you're a god. Just shouting that out there. Kurt Angle is a hero.
Yeah. He interacted with your post. Let's see if
use my edit
is.
Use my edit without even knowing. I caught on the timeline like a day after. I didn't even notice. Which is even better. But I'm looking for some very, very specific. Where is it? Not that. Where?
Just put that in the way, and then we've got Umbreon along for the ride tonight. So there we go. It's like some people have like a cat pet. I'll just have a plushie there.
Because I'm an edit guy. 1 second. Wait for it. If it comes into focus.
It's trying to. Oh, that is cool. Yeah. I don't have anything SP on. I really should. I like all.
I like both.
I got Sylvie on here, who's brand new.
Sylveon sucks. I'm sorry.
And I've got Vaporeon here as well. So
I absolutely hate the. I absolutely hate the fairy types. Fucking insulting to Pokemon. Wasparata though, if you are a football fan, just to let you know, I will be scored in less than 5 minutes against Brighton. So there's an interesting one. So it's only took them 4 minutes, Fulham, but we'll move on because we're not here to talk about football. But if you are a football fan, I'm just giving you a quick update because it's just appeared on my phone. So, right.
Yeah. What about that Ruben Amor impact last night, huh?
To be fair, all I'm gonna say is 2 tough corners. I'm not gonna say much. I don't think either team played well.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. But speaking of tough corners, we're absolutely here to talk about that because
exactly.
My word, there was some tough stuff going on in the wrestling ring in the 4 corners that we love so much. But yeah, we're gonna jump right on in.
4 corners that much that we're changing our layout. We're actually going back to the old school big circles.
So I'm gonna.
That's how much.
I'm gonna put my hood down for now. When I need the power of Umbreon, I will bring Umbreon back out. You know.
I'm gonna need it to describe a few things. Put it that way.
Where did you want to start? Because I was thinking.
We're gonna go in show order.
Full Gear, then Survivor Series. Right, great. Okay. If we go match by match on Full Gear, we're going to be here all night.
Luckily, there was only 9 matches, but there was one. I
want to start with something. Remember what I said to you on that preview?
We will quickly touch on this.
Yeah.
I'm not. To be fair, though, I'm not surprised because Netflix would have included that. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think even if you went to Netflix,
they want the child audience. They want the child audience.
Even though a lot of the talent definitely deserve a more mature ground, I didn't ever think they were going to change their rating once when they went to Netflix. I thought it would stay the same.
Yeah. So anyway, we're discussing AEW.
It's TV PG though. It's TV PG, so there's a little bit different in America. TV PG. So I don't mean to cut you there, really.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
TV PG will still include a little bit of the adult content, so you'll still get like adult phrasing.
Seeing adult content.
Yeah, you'll still get
like
the
we've been seeing. It's not all been bloody colourful cereal and John Cena. There have been some dark things happening on this.
You're still going to get Liv Morgan. You're still going to get Liv Morgan, unfortunately, shaking her arse in short.
You're going to get
but
Liv Morgan anyway, and the sooner you realise that she's there to stay, the better. Anyway, speaking of being here to stay, Tony Khan's here to stay, unfortunately. So besides freezing out one of his most talented potential assets in Ricky Starks, Tony Khan has once again shown that he can't learn, and he never learns. And when he does something well, it's a fluke. Because Wrestle Dream was very, very good. The end of Wrestle Dream was amazing. This is coming from a supposed AEW hater. Not supposed. I am. But Wrestle Dream is very good. Wrestle Dream did everything that it was supposed to do. Built this huge angle around Danielson, the retirement and everything, and it got us to the point that we're at now. And I said after that show, AEW are going to fumble this, so I struggled to care. Fast forward to Full Gear, and AEW have fumbled it, and everyone is struggling to care. Now, obviously, I'm not one to only use TV ratings as a metric, but they are a metric. AEW once again drew sub 600,000 the week after the pay-per-view. That's a bad sign. The crowd reactions that very important people to this show were getting is a bad sign. It's a bad sign that there is nothing. And once again, I go back to WWE 2018-19. Baron Corbin was feuding with Seth Rollins. The reaction that got was, we don't want to see it at all. Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns got literally nothing. It got beat the traffic. It was that bad. People did not want to see it. And there was thing after thing like that. Obviously, The Fiend and Seth Rollins. It's a bad year for Seth Rollins, 2019. Really. He wins the Rumble, and it's a bad year for him.
He had about 2-3 years where he was flatter than an A-cup.
Yeah,
it was genuinely shocking behaviour.
2019 is the big shock to me because he wins the Rumble. And you think winning the Rumble, he does win 2019, right?
He wins the 2019 Rumble.
2018 Nakamura 2019 Seth.
In 2020, obviously.
He wins that Rumble, opens a WrestleMania, wins the belt back off Brock.
And it doesn't last.
But it's the feuds he has leading into it's Baron Corbin, and the feud he has at the end of the year is a Fiend. And
one of them you would think is actually tailor-made for him. The other really shouldn't have worked. Like the one that should have worked was the Baron Corbin feud. The one that should never made sense
to be built differently, and this is what I'm sort of getting at.
Unfortunately, I blame his wife. The minute they included his wife, that was
it. We're going to blame Becky Lynch for something later.
I'm just pointing out a respectful thing. That Baron Corbin feud, the minute you include that freaking doorknob in that feud, that was it. It was lost.
But we'll cool it off for now because Becky's going to get hers later. But let's mirror that with what AEW did on Full Gear and what we've learned coming out of Full Gear. Now, obviously, I'm not a bitter person. It's not just that I got some predictions wrong, although they are baffling.
I mean, it's
Kyle Fletcher has defeated Will Ospreay, and Kyle Fletcher is the third most important man to his own faction.
Told you.
It's so nonsensical. Also, we will dive into this match in particular, but I'm going to continue on the feuds thing just now. Then I'll go into the usual spiel about how AEW keeps wasting everything. You've got MJF, who no one really cares about right now because he's feuding with Adam Cole, who no one can care about. And the way that they're doing this feud is so stupid. And MJF and Roderick Strong had a good match. No one cares. They want the end of this feud. They don't want MJF and Adam Cole anymore. They don't want it.
there's a lot of comparative polar opposites you can get from this feud. Like this, ironically, this feud, I'm going to compare it to the Bloodline feud. I'm going
Right.
to, with the whole thing, because it doesn't have any remote interest anymore. It's just people, like, it's constant analogy you've used week after week. Once they're done with this, where do you fit all these tragic human beings? Where do you fit them? Once this is over, where do you fit MJF? Where do you fit Roderick Strong? Roderick Strong, at least we know he's a reliable worker. He can fit in anywhere. MJF, he's got to be in
Well,
the main event.
MJF
Is he going to be?
gonna
No,
have to go for the world title,
he
but
should.
as a
But
babyface, and we saw how that worked last year.
it's not believable.
He's not
It's not
believable in the slightest, whatever he does.
His problem is he tries to lean into one, but then he doesn't get the reaction, so he tries the other, and he still
The
doesn't
more
get it.
that
So
he
he's
leans into being a heel, the more those fans cheer him. But I said this 3 years ago.
he needs to just be one, and then just stop going for the reaction. Like,
He needs to be
just-
a boring heel.
oh yeah, proper stick
He's
the place.
very good at wrestling, but
Mm.
on promos he just has to be boring. He needs to stop with his zingers. You
Yeah,
need
like,
Chris
no more of
Page to pull him to the side and teach him how to cut a boring promo.
I'll tell you what else he needs to stop as well, which is also important. Every single bloody entrance, he needs to stop at the sexual innuendo stuff, because that's also getting a stupid reaction.
Of course, it's getting a pop. These are man children watching it.
But it's
Because
not
it's
just
man
man
child
children.
pushing it.
I don't necessarily think that's the reason, though. I think it's purely just they think it's just that element of it's it's that 90s feel. Which
Tony
isn't
Khan
what
is
you
Vince
get.
Russo. Tony Khan is Vince Russo. He does the exact same goddamn things.
Mm.
You only have to look at the Mina Shirakawa booking to know exactly what Tony Khan thinks of voluptuous breasts, we'll say.
But that's what she was doing in Japan, though.
I know,
that-
but to bring it over and make that...
Obviously, they can't do. Obviously, they cannot do exactly what she was doing in that faction with Mariah May. Like, she physically can't do that. So they're replacing a little bit. I personally don't want that anyway. I just want to see Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa do what they actually do really well, and that's wrestle. Because let's be real, they're actually decent to watch in the ring. Mina
Why
Shirakawa
are
is
they
very
not
impressive
on
in
the
the ring.
pay-per-view other than a shitty celebration now?
Because they've been teasing that for a while, though. Like, they've
But
been
what
building
does it
to.
tell you? If they don't want Mariah May on the card, but they do want Mercedes Moné on the card,
I think the fact is,
who's the A champ here?
I don't think it's definitely not Mercedes, though. I think the problem is they are clearly waiting for one particular. I think they're waiting for a particular talent, which doesn't really help. But the matches that Mariah May is actually having on TV are actually good enough to be on pay-per-view. And they are. I don't know why specifically they're not booking her on it. There's room to have 2 women's title matches. I mean, when you look at it, I actually think the Mercedes match with Statlander in particular was actually quite good. But it certainly comes down to choice. That celebration, though, was teased for a while. Like, they were teasing this whole celebration for quite some time. They just chose to do it full gear. I wouldn't have. I would have done it the following night on Dynamite and just teased to this match. It's probably going to end up being decent at Winter's Wild, or whatever it's fucking called. But it doesn't really matter.
Unless they've changed the
Sorry,
name.
Winter's coming. Yeah, I would call it Winter as well, because it's going to be well between those two anyway. But Winter is coming. I don't really care about these specials.
I mean, because the other thing is, like, as I say, they kept her off the pay-per-view. Or they kept her out of the match. They did
keep her out. They did keep her out the match, though. But at least it built to something, or at least it wasn't wasted, but it built to something. But I still don't.
Could they not
I
have
still would have
done
had the
that?
match.
Right, like, okay, cut some of the fucking pointless matches out. Could they not have had Mariah May showcase her wrestling in a match against someone who was fit and doing well? I don't know.
People that are there to
Wheel
go.
Karashida out. Wheel Riho out again. Something that's a match, and then do the angle. It felt weird to do a celebration that's an angle when
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
in there. It's like, Cody wasn't champ when he was doing the Grayson Waller effect. He was challenger. When KO does the KO show, he's not the champ. When it happens on a pay-per-view. When Miz did Miz TV on pay-per-views or PLEs, he wasn't a champion. It's weird to have a fit champion and go, yeah, you're not in a match, but we'll book you in a promo. It's weird. It tells me that Tony doesn't see much in Mariah, and that Mariah's a stopgap for, as you say, who they're waiting for.
It is certainly a possibility. I'm trying to find a reason for it, but I also didn't think it was bad. I agree, it may have been the wrong place in the wrong time, but I actually thought the segment, for what it led to, was good between the two of them. I just don't think it was good segment, bad place.
They could have done it on Dynamite.
Yeah, and it still would have been just as good. Because I actually liked the fact that you actually had two friends you thought they were actually going to celebrate for this championship.
Even because she's been through so many vicious matches recently, give Mariah a squash on pay-per-view. It would have broke up the lull that this card went to, where every match was going 20-25 minutes. And the thing is, remember, when every match goes 20-25 minutes, no match goes 20-25 minutes.
I was very
feel that.
That was the thing that surprised me. I mean, I do like a good match limit, for time. I didn't expect every match to go 20 minutes. I thought maybe 2 or 3, realistically, like the title matches and the Jay White match. I said the Jay White Hangman match.
Not the match that you announced the night before.
Yeah.
Like doing 20 minutes of that, it's like the crowds didn't even know what they were seeing. And then you give that to them and it goes another 20 minutes. It's like, but I know that I've got this match and this match and this match still to come. And I'm getting fucking tired.
Realistically, I would have shortened the Takeshita match with Ricochet, not because either of them are bad. I would have shortened it.
Dynamite and main event Dynamite with it. The whole point of having these other champions is
I have a problem with Takeshita at the minute anyway. I have a problem with Takeshita at the minute anyway, but it's not actually Takeshita's fault. I'm actually a little bit disappointed.
It's like when SmackDown main events with the tag titles, you're like, okay, you know something? Cool. Because it's not hot enough to get on pay-per-view. It's not hot enough to get on PLE. Takeshita could be. Tony just keeps, as I say, fumbling the bag. He's very good. If he had a feud that he could actually build, I don't know.
They had it right there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something about Tony Khan maybe not knowing how to book these Japanese stars other than how they were booked in Japan. And when Takeshita's had quite a limited career in Japan, he doesn't really know what Takeshita can do other than hold this belt and wait for challengers. And there is something to that, but you've got to be able to cut the promo if you're going to do that. You have to be the badass on the mic who can just wait for challengers. That's kind of what LA Knight did.
I think Takeshita's definitely probably been out of anyone they've had this year, I think Takeshita's probably been the strongest booked when he wasn't champion. When he's been champion, it's been mostly Don Callis doing the work.
AEW challengers get booked very, very strongly. Then they become AEW champions. And
the only issue I have with Takeshita right now, and it's not actually his fault, this is an element of something that Tony Khan has done that rightfully pissed me off, and I will never get over it. That's how angry I am with him. Is you've been building for Takeshita versus Okada for so long, and you don't put Takeshita in the Continental Classic, but you put in a fucking spaz like Daniel Garcia.
This is everything that we've spoken about, though, and every company is guilty of it, but I'm seeing it more with AEW right now.
There's no Takeshita slander, don't worry. We're just slandering Tony Khan. Well, I am for not
this is Catherine, you hate it as well, but this is Tony Khan slander from me. Tony Kander, you could say.
I wanted Takeshita in the Continental Classic for 2 reasons. One, I would have actually had him beat Okada and unify those titles, which I've been saying
Yeah.
for frickin' months. But 2, it's actually good that you would have had a bit of, like, what does Daniel Garcia get out of this? I don't get it. Mind you, I'm going to come on to him later on, and God almighty, I'm going to need a shotgun.
Well,
But
it's because he's very much loved and appreciated by all the fans that go mild when he wins matches.
He's a fucking fade-haired gimp.
Yeah, they go mild when he wins. They don't care.
It just annoys me that since All In, they've been building for Takeshita versus Okada constantly, and I'm like, the Continental Classic's coming. Surely, Takeshita wins Blue League or he wins the Gold League, Okada wins the other one, and you have those two in the final. Surely, and then title versus title.
Nah, Takeshita doesn't want to do it. Or Tony Khan doesn't want Takeshita to do it. More accurately,
I don't know, and but that's also the depressing link between this, because I'm going to use it as a comparison. You've misused Takeshita in this way. Yep. Now WWE have all of a sudden have put Catherine. I've been waiting since All In for Takeshita versus Okada though. Like, I've actually been waiting. I've actually been begging for it on these shows.
Yeah, and what we're saying is Tony Khan sits on these matches, except for the ones that he gives us right away. There is no middle ground with Tony Khan. Tony Khan will either wait 3 years to give you the match, or he'll wait 5 minutes. He did
I'm just a little bit worried it's the wrong
on a random episode. He did MJF versus Will Ospreay on a random show. Right? That was Dynamite 250? Or was that Okada?
No, that was MJF.
It was MJF
Ospreay, because it was the main event for the title.
Yeah, Dynamite 250. That, yeah. So sometimes, long-term storytelling. What story is being told? Takeshita right now is a background character because they decided that
he's just doing international defenses right
Imagine watching The Simpsons, right? And you get an episode about Hans Moleman. That's Kyle Fletcher. He is the Hans Moleman episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, that's harsh.
It doesn't matter. It's wholly inconsequential. It's no one's favourite. And right, this is the way we're going to do it, Reece, I think, because we can't go through the whole card, right? We're each going to talk about our least favourite match. And
you really want me to do that?
And then we'll do the main event. And then we'll move on to Survivor Series.
I'll have so I can have the exact same effect for Survivor Series as well.
We both have to eviscerate one match on Survivor Series, because fuck me.
I might be eviscerating the one you wouldn't expect.
All right, fair. I'm eviscerating the one everyone expects.
Well, that's fine. I can instantly eviscerate the match I didn't like the most on.
So do you want to start? Do you want me to start by eviscerating? You can tell. Go on. What match do you think I hated most?
I don't think it's the women's match, ironically.
Wait, this is for AEW?
Yeah.
No.
I think it's Ospreay versus Fletcher.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. What a fucking load of nonsense. This was ridiculous. Will Ospreay has gone from my most, like, the guy I was most excited about when he was in New Japan. And I mean, like, before he was even heavyweight. I mean, like, Super Juniors Will Ospreay. Having the match with Takeshita and Skrull and Kushida.
We don't say his name.
Bushi. What's wrong with Kushida?
No, not him.
I know what you mean. Good matches, though. Good matches. And he was very good. And he was doing exciting stuff. And it was kind of like, oh, should you really be getting up from that? But that was kind of the point of the Super Juniors. They didn't have the size, so they just had lots of
X Division. Sorry, I've just had a cough there.
They just had loads of heart, and they were just able to get up from anything. Will Ospreay kind of tested the limits for this a bit. You know, he would get powerbombed on the apron, and I'd be like, should you really maybe sell that for a little longer? He would always try that Hurricane Rana on the apron. He nearly killed himself with it.
Yeah.
A couple of times, which is I mean, okay, sure, do what you do. But this was gratuitous violence to no end, because what the hell are these two guys doing? I mean, the tombstone pile driver onto the stairs, and Will Ospreay got back up. Now, obviously, this has been a problem of mine with Will Ospreay for a while now. It's like, motherfucker, just sell something. Like, that is a hospitalization angle. Do you know how we know that? Guess what show just did a hospitalization angle based on a pile driver on the stairs? You know? You got one company that's respecting these athletes as human beings and going, that would hurt. You've got wrestlers going through car windshields and being literally written off the show. But even the other ones that have gone through car windshields in that whole feud, they were out for a few weeks, and they came back and they had the taped up ribs and everything, and they sold it. Will Ospreay got back up and took more offense.
His own words are quite an interesting thing.
I didn't bother listening to the dipshit, so go for it.
Well, he's already said that, because people have obviously asked him about what is it about his short burst moments of taking a certain move, whatever the move is, and it's a short burst. And his response was that he listed guys that he worked and trained with in Japan. So he's listing the likes of Okada. He's listed obviously the likes of Jay White, and he's listed Kenny Omega, and he listed Kenta, and he's like, that short of damage that he takes, or that or something a particular happens to him, like a move or a spot, and he's like, it's that adrenaline that kicks in where you've got to get something quick before someone takes the advantage. And I'm like, okay, I get
losing anyway.
I mean,
so
I
why
get
do
it.
you have to worry about losing fucking advantage? He's losing the match. And
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get.
If you want me to believe in Kyle Fletcher as a heel, just fucking do the tombstone on the stairs and ring the bell.
See, I thought he would have taken him back in the ring and just pinned him. I don't know why it didn't end there. Like, it should have ended there.
The EMTs, the doctors should have come out.
I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. I thought that was where the ending was. Like, I actually thought, you know what, that's actually perfect. I actually thought from Kyle Fletcher, this is actually
perfect. Already, let me make it clear, it was already too much before they got there.
I'm not surprised though, but that is the element of just what it is these days.
This was two pals working with each other doing the match they did in Rev Pro training, whatever the fuck. Or when they were down under and Ospreay was having a bit of fucking fun on an indie and they did this match. And in an indie, it's fine. In an indie, it's fine. If you're doing a show for a live crowd, you can get up from fucking anything. That live crowd in that fucking gym hall loves it. If you're on pay-per-view, motherfucker, you need a health bar. You've got to realize when it's done. You got to realize when you're out the fight. Got to realize.
I would have ended after the
laid out.
I would have ended it then.
And think of the impact it would have had. Kyle Fletcher could have come out on Dynamite and gone, hospitalized your boy, didn't I? Because Ospreay's supposed to be the top baby. I mean, he's not. Darby Allin's being booked as top babyface, but the crowd react more for Ospreay.
Yeah.
So surely they'd react more if Fletcher hospitalized Ospreay. And what if you then had a clear Ospreay's flew home for medical attention? You know, he probably lives in America now because he and Thingy split. I don't know.
No, he still lives with his wife, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they've split, have they?
I'm talking about the first one. I didn't know his second one was even UK.
No, he's still in England with her.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's flown home for medical attention to be with his family. You could even have a promo if the wife's any good at cutting promos. Just have a promo like what.
I mean,
what
she is
do
a
you
pro
do?
wrestler, but I haven't seen her
Yeah,
work. I
well,
don't
you
know.
know, she cuts promo, and she's like, "Look, what have you done? You like he can't feel anything, you know, like you do that
Sell the
whole
neck.
story." Was it Cody that cut the promo? And he was probably rehashing it from someone, but he said like I can't remember who the wrestler was, but it was I couldn't hold my kid's hand, I couldn't feel it. Might have been Brian.
Yeah.
It was Brian,
Mm-hmm.
and he said I couldn't feel my kid's hand.
Which is brilliant work.
Or like I think Cody had one as well, where like his arm was Brock injured his arm, and he said he couldn't lift his kid. I think that happened.
Yeah. Something like that.
Brock made him tap in the Kimura in Saudi.
Oh yeah, he wanted to rip that thing off. I mean,
Yeah.
he should have done, but
And then Cody, I think, cut a promo about how he couldn't lift his kid.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're rehashing things, but wrestling is a game of rehashing. It's about when and where you rehash. And I think it would be a lot more powerful if Ospreay was off television because he was injured and not just because he was beat.
Michael Elgin, I
don't wish to comment, if I'm honest.
Michael Elgin is just like Marty Scurll. I used to appreciate Michael Elgin. Like, I thought Michael Elgin was a really good wrestler. I was actually really happy that he won the IWGP Intercontinental title from Kenny Omega, because it was the right time to move the title on, but also allowed Michael Elgin to get a chance. And then, obviously, what happened with Michael Elgin after that? He's a disgusting piece of shit. So, no thanks. I will not review. I will not watch anything that Michael Elgin's got. If there's a video of Michael Elgin, however, I will watch. If there's a video of Michael Elgin getting hit by a bus in the near future, I will watch that. As long as someone else has got. I'll hire Darby Allin to do it.
But yeah, Kyle Fletcher won. This is not going to fucking go anywhere. The crowd don't care. They're not going to care about Kyle Fletcher. When Kyle Fletcher gets stomped out, it's going to be over. Well done. You have a mid-card babyface, and now you have a mid-card heel, and you've just turned Ospreay into a mid-card babyface who can't beat a guy that he is leagues ahead of. As I say, it's like if Cody turns around and gets beat by one of the Viking Raiders.
He probably will.
Well done. Way to go.
Guaranteed,
anyway,
probably will.
Your least favorite AEW match? Well, from that show, obviously.
Yeah. Ugh.
I didn't expect you to phrase it like that. Okay.
Yep. Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry.
Oh, no way. Really? I never would have guessed.
I really wish I went to sleep during this match. I hate the two of them. Like, I actually hate the two of them because this was the worst match I've seen of 2024.
It's like getting the question at a diner, do you want white bread or brown bread? And then they bring it out and it's rotten eggs. Like, you have rotten eggs on your toast anyway. It's like, so why did you ask me what bread I wanted if they're both going to be shit?
I genuinely hated watching this. Like, this was awful. Like, and it wasn't awful in the sense of, oh, it's bias. No, it's pure awful. I've seen better matches from Dana Brooke this year, and she's shit.
There'll be better matches on Level Up.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch tragic programming.
No, I don't watch it either, but there probably are.
No idea. I don't watch. But this was just pure awful. And again, I'll reiterate what I said before the pay-per-view. This match will be the death of the TNT title. So this title means nothing to me now. I don't care. I don't care about the TNT title. I don't care if Okada wins it. I don't care if Ospreay wins it. I don't care if somehow Jay White wins it. I don't care if Swerve wins it. I don't care if Shelton Benjamin wins it now, even though I said he should. The TNT title means nothing now because it's on the most boring human being to ever exist besides Eric Bischoff, and I'm absolutely fucking disgusted by this title.
Eric Bischoff
is a complete
He's not
no.
boring.
No.
He's not
Eric
boring.
Eric Bischoff is a boring, corrupt, on the take clown, and he's got no relevancy.
He's not
in
boring
life.
though. It's
He is
entertaining
boring.
to watch him. Watch the failure of the last years of WCW. That's entertaining.
No, Eric Bischoff as a human being is boring and
Uh,
irrelevant, and like his opinions, belongs in a hut on fire. But
wow.
but as for Garcia versus fucking Jack Perry, no, like it just.
but we got a title change.
I don't care. It's just rubbish.
Babyface won the belt. Were you not happy?
No, it was just boring. Like there was nothing out of this. There's no, and obviously the day after, here we go. I declare myself for the Continental Classic. Fucker, you don't have no right to be in a tournament. You've got no right. You've got no right to be a pro wrestler. And I'll tell you one thing as well. Fuck your family for that stupid fucking video package as well. We're so proud of them. Go
Did
win
you not
it.
think that sweet? I thought that was sweet.
Oh, piss off. It's only useless. I hate when fucking WWE does it. I hate when AEW does it. I hate when TNA do it. No one cares about your fucking family.
To do something different with it.
Who cares? No one cares about his fucking family. I don't.
Clearly, you don't care.
No. Like, it's boring shit. And it's irrelevant. And there was no need. And frankly, I hated it. From the minute I saw that video, to the minute the bell rang, to the very end of the match, honest to God, I should have went for a walk at 2 or 3 in the morning. I should have went for a walk in the pitch black.
Yeah.
That's how bored I was of this match.
You knew Garcia was going to get a title because he's one of TK's boys. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Like,
I know,
every
ridiculous.
booker has their favourites, but why do Tony Khan suck ass? Like, every booker has their favourites, but Tony Khan's might be the worst group of favourites I've ever seen.
It's annoying that he could have had favourites like Shelton Benjamin, Swerve.
He's somehow got favourite Danny Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, Action Andretti, Hook,
and Orange Cassidy.
Fucking Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston.
Oh, that fat fuck better disappear.
Like, these are his favourites. These are his guys.
I don't know how they're anyone's favourites. Like, not just Booker's favourites, fan favourites.
Yeah. One thing is, when it comes to Eddie Kingston, you can't say that I jumped on a bandwagon. I hated him from the fucking moment I saw him.
I tried to give him a chance.
People were like, "Oh, but Cody's brought this guy in." It's like Cody isn't always right. This guy's shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about it because if Orange Cassidy's gonna have to get the bleach out his face first, and then he can maybe come back and win the world title.
All I'm gonna say, I'll say this in the nicest way. This world title. Thank you for doing one. Actually, thank you for 2 things. One, he didn't win it, and 2, thank you for giving Hangman Christian and Jay White an angle moving forward.
Yeah, but why is it happening now?
World's End. The main event's going to be a fatal 4-way.
Didn't make any pissing sense.
It's going to be the world title main event though.
Right.
World's End.
Okay.
It's going to be that fatal 4-way.
Yeah. We're kind of speaking in tongues. So the main event: John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, a clown versus another clown. Obviously,
at least one of them's actually trying to do something, whereas the others
he
too
will
busy
never abandon this goddamn thing, will he? He will never abandon the shin kicks. He will never abandon the hands in the pockets. He's never going to.
Yeah, I'm done with him. Can't be arsed.
Well, once again, something you can't accuse me of jumping on a bandwagon. I've always thought the guy was shit.
I just like I just like the music. Annoyingly, and this is the worst thing, he's a shit wrestler, but he seems to get good theme songs. It's actually really annoying.
Yeah, but
And I think that's an honest. That for me is a pure honest take. He's a shit wrestler, but he somehow gets good music. It's like Jimmy and Jey Uso, shit wrestlers, but they seem to get good music.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
So the main event happens. They have a run-of-the-mill match.
Yes.
And after some running, John Moxley won.
Far too competitive as well, which is what we hoped wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but it's an AEW main event. Have they ever not been competitive?
To be fair, that is the
AEW main events are always back and forth, and you're like, sometimes
is the wrestling. It is annoyingly the wrestling norm where the main event has got to be competitive on all sides, but this is like an exempt main event where it shouldn't have been competitive. This should have been 500 Death Rider DDTs from the top rope just to break Orange Cassidy's neck.
But remember, this is a guy that got beaten down by 5 people and then he just got back up.
I mean, yeah.
He thinks he's some kind of badass. Like,
I think he thinks he's Superman. Like the legit incarnation. I think he does think he's Superman.
I think give me a month to prepare, and in a week I would beat Orange Cassidy in a fight. Like,
but we've already proven that this guy doesn't seem to lose. So you can prepare all you want. You probably.
Oh yeah, you know when he puts his hands in his pockets, I'm screwed. I definitely can't fight him. He's got his hands in his pockets. Malachi should be in the main event. That's the thing. Malachi Black was relegated to tag.
He's always been a tag wrestler, to be fair.
No, but fuck off. Like, he'd be better here.
Even in NXT, like, his title reign was good, but the minute they put him in the tag scene, he looked comfortable. I think he's another one.
His title reign was marred by the fact that one of those matches he had to work with LS. When you look at other tag champions down the line,
LS.
I don't want to say his name. The Freak.
Oh, Velveteen Scream.
No.
Well, he's one of them. He's a fucking gimp.
Yeah, but
he's the worst of them.
I mean the other guy. Velveteen could at least work.
Oh, Big Baldy.
The one of his name, you see.
Jeff Hardy, I hope you had a good shower after that match.
Yeah, he had to work with some bad people, but Malachi would be better there. So the main event angle, and the reason that I bring it up is, you know how I feel about things happening that should kill people. How are you going to explain that this person is back? It's not fucking Looney Tunes. You can't blow the guy up and he comes back next episode. This is supposed to be wrestling. We're supposed to care week to week to week. These guys are doing this like a fucking Looney Tunes short, and it's very insulting. Orange Cassidy's already bust open and they pour bleach on him. They say it's bleach. We know it's not bleach. We know it's water, but
yeah,
the announced team are saying bleach. Moxley's insisting that it's bleach, and Cassidy's trying to sell it like it's bleach. I don't know how you sell bleach being poured into your face. I hope I never find out.
I've got no idea how to answer that either.
But
I do
how
not know.
the fuck is he not dead then? Because it's bleach. It just poisons you and you're dead. If that shit gets inside you, you are dead.
You can get detox, to be fair.
How
you
do
can
they
get
explain
detox,
it?
but you're right.
Yeah, but how do they explain it away?
I don't freaking know.
And he just lay there while all these other run-ins happened. I was like, there's a guy dying over there.
It's like how do you explain 2003 WWE when fucking Kane's electrocuting Shane McMahon's small testicles? Technically, he should be dead. It wasn't a small shock if you look at that bloody generator.
Yeah, I get the more shocking ones like Jim Ross being set on fire.
Oh, that was harsh as well. That scene, mind you, Chris Benoit, but Jim Ross has had the worst treatment of any anyone.
Not everything in wrestling needs a realistic explanation, but Catherine, if they're going to use fucking bleach, they've got to follow through on the fact that it's fucking bleach.
Like, if you're given a realistic explanation for why, the one that's actually been realistically explained is obviously John Moxley for what he did to Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream when he tried to choke him, because he literally his intention was, I'm going to end this man's career one way or the other. So that's explained.
Yeah.
Setting someone on fire. You absolutely hate the person.
You can survive asphyxiation as long as you get the bag off your head pretty quickly.
Yeah, like setting someone on fire. Absolutely. If you're going to set someone on fire in pro wrestling, you know the reason why you're setting someone on fire.
You can survive a needle because the needle just numbed swerve. That's actually less offensive than this, because this is. I just didn't understand.
I've got it. I just didn't understand it.
It's the fucking Money in the Bank of 2020.
Oh, not this again.
It's the one where two guys got thrown off a building and they had a match the following night.
Oh, not that one again. Not that.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio and, funnily enough, the artist formerly known as Alistair, Malachi Black, got thrown off a roof and they had a match the following night. Like, sorry, motherfucker, how do you explain that? When they were doing the swamp match, how do you explain any of that? When but they were cinematic matches. This was not cinematic match. This was supposed to be a contest for your world title, and the actual angle on the challenger ends with him having bleach poured on and probably in him, and he's dead. He's just dead. No one was there to save him instantly. He was dead. And you know it was bad because the camera didn't fucking go back to it. Once they did all the run-ins, they were like, well, I've got no way to explain how the guy that's just had bleach poured on him isn't dead.
What I would have done. Dynamite. The problem with listing Dynamite Kid as probably the most disgusting wrestling business apart from a few. He isn't, though. Because there's two people that are worse than Dynamite Kid. The first is Vince McMahon. By a mile. By a few galaxies. The second is a Samoan. Or Samoan-esque. Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, then Jimmy Snuka are the worst two in pro wrestling before Benoit.
Yeah.
Dynamite Kid's horrific though. I would have chosen it differently. I would have taped Orange Cassidy to the turnbuckle, and I would have put the bleach on his legs, and I would have torched his legs.
See, that's actually more. Or if they were going to do it, and then the baby faces came down and stopped them doing it, that would be something. The other one I would compare it to, although I think there's a slight out here, is when Randy Orton set the Fiend on fire, because the Fiend was
distasteful.
Yeah, the Fiend was quotes not human, so Orton setting him on fire didn't really matter. But that feud was shit for numerous reasons, and I'm not defending the feud. All I'm saying is he had an out.
Even for a Thunderdome thing like that was.
You can't have things in wrestling and in death angles because these people can't. They're on the screen the next week, so I know they're not dead. And then I'm like, okay, so explain that. And obviously, you then had the Hangman Page stuff with John Moxley. Why does he hit Yuta with the chair and then just stare down John Moxley? Like, hit him with it or don't hit him with it? Why is there all this?
It's to make him shit himself. I think it's purely just to make him shit himself,
but
not
why?
to go after him.
What's the reason?
Hanging over, quote unquote. I'm actually going to use a reasonable comparison. When you look at presents, so you've got like 98 Taker Kane, for example. They would strike down anybody, but they would constantly stare each other out. It was just a reminder. Obviously, it's a different element of size and weight, but it's still the same effect. opposing angles, whoever's getting what, you're still looking at the other one down. It's, to be fair though, Triple H and Stone Cold used to do this all the time when they feuded at their peak. Somebody would deliver either a stunner, a pedigree, or a fucking sledgehammer shot, but they would do it in front of the other person's face, and they would remind them exactly of, this is what you're gonna get. That chair shot to Utah, and Moxley looking on was purely mind yourself because this is coming.
Why didn't he just fucking hit him with it though? Like it's all this dramatic staring and get on at WWE for the exact same thing. Like get on at WWE for the exact same thing. Like you've got the fucker there, like go for it. And that's why WWE always bring like the security out or other wrestlers out to separate people. Because it's like, okay, well there's no reason why these guys wouldn't just fight right now. Instead, AEW is all this dramatic, like, oh, we've got to milk it. We've got to milk it for the crowds. Like,
but everyone milks it though. You can't just say
fucking everyone milks it. Like this show's been 5 hours.
A lot of shit is milked in any promotion, not just
and then
everyone milks it. It's
Jay White. Boring. So and also right, Jay White, supposedly babyface.
Yeah.
Stopped Christian from cashing in on Moxley.
Yes.
Christian is heel. We know that. But we know that Moxley is apparently this ultra mega death heel who is going to ruin AEW. That's the whole vibe that we're told about him. So why didn't Jay White just let Christian do it and then deal with Christian after? The logic holes in this ending is so there's so many.
It's because he doesn't want it.
No, I get the comparison. Everything has to have a reason behind it is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're going to kill a fucker on the screen, the fucker's got to die. And if you're not going to kill a fucker on the screen, don't do things that would kill the fucker. That's my line. Don't kill people who aren't dead.
Too bad MJF didn't do it for real and Daniel Garcia. Oh, sorry, I don't wish death on anyone. Yes, I remember Snitsky. Really,
he was all right in the game. But yeah, so you got anything to add? Oh, and then Darby Allin came and crashed a car into.
That was quality.
It was a really smart thing to do. Really smart.
That was it. That was excellent.
They kill people in because wrestling's not a fucking movie.
Then
it's supposed to be rooted in reality. We're supposed to believe in
Wait. Did I just hear you say that wrestling isn't a movie?
Wrestling isn't a movie. It's cinema, but it's not a movie.
No, because cinema is a movie, and therefore
cinema
is No, it's already lost. It's already
movies,
lost. No. It's already over.
It's over. Listen. Movies. No, these movies that you're talking about where they kill people and then they show up again, they're fucking horror movies or they're fucking superhero movies. Wrestling is neither of those things. Wrestling's supposed to be that. Also.
No. This was the right result. This was the right result.
If we're gonna flip the script here, wasn't Tony Khan the one that was banging on about sports based? So where does Bleach come into sports based? Currently, the company that he said wasn't the sports-based company is doing more sports-based shit than his company, who are doing fucking Bleach angles and titty champagne celebrations and shit that fucking Die Hard.
To be fair, the second one, I wish I would
just been watching. That's my problem with it.
No, I get what your point.
If something's going to happen on the wrestling, it's got to be realistic. Otherwise, I stop fucking caring because at the end of the day, this is supposed to still feel like a combat sport. A staged one, but it's supposed to feel like a combat sport.
True.
And it doesn't when the fucker gets bleached.
Or
Darby Allin crashes a car into people. I'm like, okay, so we're doing like Die Hard, or we're doing like fucking Fast and Furious here. This is cool. I don't need to care. I don't watch movies. I don't care for them. Do you know why I don't care for them? Because they're not rooted in fucking reality for the most part. Don't get me wrong. Marvel, like superhero movies, can capture my imagination.
They haven't in some time.
Because the people behind them are real. Yes, their superpowers are not real, but the people behind them are real. None of these people in AEW are real. They haven't been real characters. If it was established that Orange Cassidy was like fucking Kenny from South Park and he died every week and came back, I would accept it. It would be the status quo. It would be the norm. But it's not.
Is it quite funny that I would actually change his character to that now?
It would make more fucking sense. You killed Cassidy, you bastard! See?
You fed Kingston a KFC, you fat bastard.
See? There's potential here, but not in a wrestling program.
I think they could have just done the bleach a bit differently. What I suggested I would have done with the bleach. I don't know why they put it down the gullet. That part made no sense, but
No, because he's dead, Reece.
yeah.
Anyway, speaking of dead, shall we talk about a match that was like fucking death?
Before we do, all I'm going to say is the best match on the night was the match that I said was going to be the best match on the night, and that was Jay White versus Hangman.
Yeah, well, these two went and did what they do, and they got longer to do it.
And it was excellent.
Quite critical of this though, because it was getting no reaction. It's like, well, don't blame the guys in the ring, blame the guy in the pit.
I think they were getting the reaction, to be fair.
They weren't getting the reaction that they deserved comparatively to what was on the card. And to be fair, they weren't getting the spotlight that they deserved, because this should be your world title match. It should. This is the best match. These are the best wrestlers.
I think it will be in 2025, though. I don't know when, though, but it wouldn't surprise me if next year's Full Gear is a rematch of.
They need the title to do this Death Rider shit. It doesn't add anything, because he's not doing anything that makes him a champion. He just wants to kill AEW. So okay, do that without.
I think pure the reason there is actually, I think there's justification for why he's got the title though, because I think whoever he thinks actually holds it isn't what's right, as he said from the very first promo when he first returned with Marina Shafir, who, to be fair, Jay White, you lucky git. In retrospect, I think by him having the title and he's hiding it from everyone by putting it in the case, what he's effectively saying is, it's not just the company that's bad, it's also who's worn the title as well in the past couple of years, and that needs to be rectified. Like, I think what he means by killing it is a purification. You've got to kill this version to restart something potential or something like that. I think that's what he's actually aiming for. And I think he's going for it. But I'm not sure. That's actually a good question, but I actually have a weird answer.
I don't know.
I haven't looked into it. I know of it.
I literally don't know what's happened.
Ryan Nemeth called out recently that he was getting abused in AEW by CM Punk. He was getting abused, but nobody in AEW took interest on it, apparently. Which is quite weird. I'll get it up and show you what I mean. He's went mad for it, eh? So he's accused CM Punk of abuse and all that, and it was basically silent. Like Wrestling in Cage Seat, Figure 4 online, they've all commented on it. What Culture as well.
Well, okay.
Thanks very much, Nick. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. From New Jersey. Ace. New Jersey. Great place. I'm going to bring up just the What Culture stuff just so you can take a quick look, right?
Yay.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of them. They're just one of the quickest ones to put up. But so the title is Ryan Nemeth alleges CM Punk harassment silently fired by AEW.
Okay.
So this is when he got... So this is after he got fired. So let me just quickly bring this up on screen and you can have a look. Again, I've barely looked into it, so it's why I've not discussed it tonight. If I barely looked into something, there's no point in me bringing it up.
Let me just say,
if I get asked the question,
I think if there was any fire behind the smoke, it would have come out by now.
The fact that he's brought up himself, though, says it all. You know what I mean? So it goes back to September last year. Fightful Select has seen a complaint from Nemeth. It's just taking a bloody eternity to load. There we go. So, Nick, yeah, that would be.
Yeah, could check it out. Is it about the wrestling?
That sounds
Or
good.
what's your topics?
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what your topics are. We can have a look into it. So there we go. So Fightful Select has seen a complaint from that was sent to various AEW executives in September 2023, where the talent outlet at the time of events appeared Nemeth highlight abuse, harassment, and threats that he faced during his time working promotion. The complaint was dated back to September 12, 2023, with this timeline claiming Nemeth. I will absolutely check that out, Nick. Thanks very much. I'll subscribe to your channel after we've gone through this short topic. The complaint was dated September 12th, as I've said. Nemeth has emails, texts, and phone call logs and other records to back up these allegations. Here, Punk is referred to as a former AEW talent who also has an undisclosed executive producer manager title of AEW, which is something many had speculated during his time. Talks about him being fired. And this part here is the complaint isn't so much about CM Punk, but more the real issue is how AEW failed to respond to any incidents, and he was encouraged to cut a promo to antagonize him. It's not good, regardless.
No.
Weekly reviews and comments on booking someone to your show. We appreciate that. I don't think this has helped him. He said that John Moxley was there to support him, but
what was okay? Here's the question though, because you got to be careful when you throw the word abuse out there, when you throw the word harassment out there. Yeah, well, I mean, Nick,
this part here is true.
Do one of those for sure. But what I'm saying is, what CM Punk demanded that he be removed from the venue. That's not harassment. That's not harassment.
It is true though, which is
that's limiting some. That is limiting the impact. That is damage limitation.
To be fair though, and I'm not going to say this in the worst way, but that's similar to what's happened, and everyone knows I can't stand the man. I don't like his work, but this getting kicked out of a locker room has happened to somebody else in another organisation, which does nothing for them.
Unless you're the Miz, then you overcome.
The Miz.
Yeah.
He's still not respected though, so clearly he hasn't overcome much. Then he's back in the locker room. I don't think he's respected.
I think in a shoot way he is respected by enough people now.
I think
anyway,
his wife
what
is, I don't think he
shouldn't be respected was the opening match of Survivor Series. Oh, what was this?
More botches than a Jade Cargill match.
Nothing looked like it was hitting until
except a
Rhea
toilet
Ripley
seat
got in the ring.
No, nothing was hitting until a toilet seat got involved.
Oh, that was so stupid. Right, and again,
I mean that toilet seat summed up this match. To be fair,
no double standards here. So I gotta say it. Why the piss is a toilet seat under the ring? What reason is there to keep a toilet seat under a wrestling ring? Why is it there? Yeah. Oh my god.
I was getting the Hulk Hogan Steelchair shot vibes, to be fair.
Like 90% of the way there, and then just like flick of the wrist. You know, like that doesn't look right. And Candice LeRae's weren't any better, and she's supposed to be able to do this.
She was the worst one in this match, which says a lot.
I would say Naomi.
No, the reason why I think she was the worst is because there was nothing she did that was actually remotely interesting.
No, but Naomi was rubbish. As I knew she was going to be, but
I think it's I'm gonna sound very harsh here, but I think it's time that half this roster gets packed up and sent to the OVW.
But this is what we were saying. We were saying they need to just 180 this women's division, because if this is the best that you've got, it is not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, the toilet was placed there, just like Money in the Bank. It was everyone's set up. Naomi did the toilet seat, right? She uses a rear view all theme. Yeah, no, I get that. So what? But why? Firstly, why did they get to put the weapons there?
I will say this though.
Like, it's supposed to be situational. I don't
Like,
get why they would have been allowed to put things.
I will give Nick credit though. He is actually right by that. Like the
Yeah.
comparison, like it does fit well to the rear view.
Mhm.
The problem is, I don't think it was the best choice of weapon though. For me, the rear view would have been more impactful on a steel chair, or it would have been better on a trash can.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, Nick, but at the same time, like, has there been? I always talk about.
I don't know.
I use the word diegetic, and it's not right because diegetic refers to sound in film.
I'm not a fan of the WWE version of War Games. I
always like the violence in any match to be diegetic. I like when there's a reason for the thing being there. And if it was explained to me beforehand on the commentary that wrestlers had a chance to plant the weapons under the ring before the match, and everyone gets to like plant a weapon, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Fine, cool, sure.
I took her serious about a year ago when she was actually working decent matches. Now she's just being used like a clown in a jester's outfit, and
taken her seriously since 2017.
She literally had a great match with Jordan Grace, but last year, and now she's doing this.
That wasn't Naomi. That wasn't Naomi.
She had one.
Yeah, but that wasn't Naomi. That was Trinity Fatu.
I know, but it's still the same person. But she still had a quality match.
Why do you need everything explained by commentary? It was just there because there's no other reason for it to be there.
Some things should be explained. Some things doesn't.
Some things are planted in places for people to use them, but this is supposed to be a fight, and in a fight, unless you are expecting it, like, and if you're expected to use a weapon, just fucking come out holding it. I would actually prefer that. I would prefer if Naomi came out holding a toilet seat, because then it'd be like, I wonder what she's going to do with the toilet seat. She's probably going to use it in the match. It's fine. But it's under the ring. There's no reason for it. Whereas the chairs don't need explained. Chairs are always there. Yeah, sure thing, Nick. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you. But chairs are always there. Tables are always there. A fire extinguisher has to be there. A bin, I guess, could be there. Candlesticks, they're part of like the established furniture. No, they have no reason, but they're always there. You know?
Yeah.
Weapons that are always there are always there.
I'm just subscribing to the next channel.
When a weapon is there that isn't always there, you gotta ask yourself why. You gotta square that circle. Bearing in mind, this isn't an AEW criticism. This is of a WWE match. So this isn't something where I'm like, oh, it's okay when WWE do it. This is literally WWE doing it. And I don't like it. I don't like when weapons appear for no reason, when they're just there because we have a cool idea for a spot. It's like, one, your spot didn't really work. And two, I mean, come on. This is supposed to be a gritty... it's supposed to be. It was never going to be. Not the women's version. It's supposed to be a gritty war, and you brought a toilet seat. And not to whack someone with, but to do a comedy spot in a War Games.
A War Games match should never be a comedy spot. It should always be a serious impact. Like, you're there to fight. You're not there to be a joke.
Exactly.
For example, if this match at some point includes R-Truth, it should never be called War Games. It should be called Clown Games.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to unfortunately pick someone else out for that because I
Bianca
love
Belair.
her work and I think she's no.
Yeah, she's another one.
Well, yeah, I know, but that wasn't where I was going. Io Sky. Now we knew she was going to do the bin thing.
She always does it.
I don't like that it's become her thing to the point that she has her own custom bin. Like, unless, and I didn't see it, did she have that bin on SmackDown? Because here's the thing, right? See, or on Raw. Because even if on SmackDown, she was like, imagine a backstage segment, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like spray painting a bin, and the other girls in her team come up to her, and they notice she's painting a bin, and then she's like, "What are you doing?" And then she goes, "Oh, I'm getting ready. Tomorrow, War Games." And they all just kind of nod and go, "Oh, okay." Then there would at least be a reason, because then if there was a bin with rope in it under the ring that's purple and yellow, you'd be like, that's the bin Io Sky was spray painting. There's nothing better than when callback in wrestling works. And the best example of it this year is the beads in the CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing, or at least one of the best examples, because that made perfect sense to the issue that they were doing. The beats have been relevant throughout. It made perfect sense to bring them in. It made perfect sense to use them how they used them, and it was poetic justice. And that had such a great impact with people. The weight belt had a great impact with people because we'd seen it. So when Rock was thwarted by Taker before he used the weight belt, and someone got whipped with it, well, Cody got whipped with it before, but you know what I mean. We'd seen it before. They weren't just introducing something new. And as I say, it's the obsessive writer within me. Stories can't just have things pop up. There always has to be a reason. And
I think
again,
there's.
that could be me. That could be me.
It could well be, but to a degree, I do get your point. But I also think there's sometimes you've got to have an element of surprise. Otherwise, if you don't, you're not getting anywhere. And I think there's got to be some instance where an element of surprise stands out, and I think this kind of did. The problem is, this match sucked from the start to finish.
I've not seen that.
Only one person was good in this match, and it was Rhea Ripley. She had the best look, the best movement,
Yep.
the best action.
Oh,
Honest to
she
God,
put this roster to shame.
it's why if you look at the community tab, I only listed 2 people from the whole show that I was impressed with. From this entire Survivor Series, I was only impressed with 2 people.
Fair.
I was only impressed with Rhea Ripley and Nakamura.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
The rest of them didn't deserve to be on this show.
that's fair enough. Yeah,
And that's just fair. But I have seen the video. It relates back to Paul London. Paul London generally was a brilliant wrestler during the Ruthless Aggression era. Amazing tag wrestler, brilliant in the cruiserweight. But see, as a human being, he is horrible. Any wrestler that he's worked with, any wrestler that he just watches, he abuses them left, right, and center. Like,
unfortunately, what this meant for War Game as a result of War Games is someone has completely fallen off as well. Because, as I say, not just the chair shots, Nia was bad here, and it was like she'd gone back a couple years. Like,
she got a lot of criticism. She got a lot of criticism for her performance. That he's already been mentioned in the chat. That JD as well said that Io Sky's bin should be Nia's new profile picture. And I was
if I'm going to defend Nia for one thing, and if I'm going to call other people out for one thing, let's always make sure that we critique and criticize people's work and not their size or the person.
I think there was one problem with Nia throughout this match, and it's not her fault. Nia lost a lot of weight, and she definitely has a better tank. However, she should not have started this match. And this is not me saying that she is a terrible wrestler in the tank way. I'm not. But you could see after the first 10 minutes, she did look gassed. She should have been the last woman in.
I thought they should have opened with Candice, probably.
Candice or Liv Morgan should have opened this match because they can go the distance.
Yeah.
Nia can't, and Nia got unfairly exposed, and she got a lot of hate online for it, which I don't think is
because
right.
of who she is, she's gonna get hate.
And she did respond to a lot of people online, like she did
and
go on social media.
And she shoots herself in the foot with that. She could rise above it, but
But if you, to be fair, if you are getting insulted by podcasters, there's so much you can take, and she did eventually.
That's true.
The minute that tweet was put up about the EO Sky bin, JD from New York found it. He posted a quote tweet saying this should be Nia Jax's career and profile picture. And obviously Nia found that, really tore into him, and obviously he's doubled down. But that, what I don't get is, like, I know I can be quite harsh to a degree, but I'm critiquing the work. I'm not critiquing the person. Look at Lash Legend, for example. Going into the Saudi show, I was absolutely correct when I said what I said in a nutshell, and I'll repeat it. Her and her tag partner, Hooters, is hiring because they generally are boring in the ring. They are terrible. I'm not saying they're terrible people. They just suck. But Nia's, and equivocally in that match, Nia was the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Nia was decent in this match, but that's because I wouldn't say anyone who's decent in this match other than Rhea.
I think Rhea was the only person that actually got off. I don't think, you know what's even worse? I don't think Bianca Belair actually gave a shit.
No, Bianca was on autopilot.
She was fumbling in. She was phoning it in.
Selling.
Yeah, she was phoning it in.
Yeah, I was making comments, like sitting with Greg and our pal, and I was like, okay, is Bianca gonna do something? Because she kind of she took a move, and I think it was a finisher, and it was a near fall sort of thing. She was out of action for like 7-8 minutes, and you're like, you haven't been killed.
She really phoned it in, and I never thought I would have seen that from Bianca at any point. And I'm like,
it was her.
I think it sums up that she's really bored. I think she's bored of what's being booked on her, and I don't blame her.
Yeah, because she's waiting on Jade Cargill, and you're like, oh.
But Rhea Ripley was up for it. This match also proved one thing, and I'm never going to be wrong about this. This match proved that Liv Morgan doesn't deserve to be a pro wrestler, because she is dreadful. She is dreadful.
She's a good character.
She's nothing.
In-ring needs work.
No, what she is this. I'm in a pub. There's my beer mat, right on top of her forehead. There you go. Hold my beer. That's Liv Morgan.
Right.
She ain't good enough, and I don't care. People are only going to like her because they're simps. She's terrible. End of.
Fair. I mean, you could say that you saw the same sort of thing with Naomi. People like her. There's obviously another dynamic to that, but there are a lot of people who simp for Naomi, and they'll defend Naomi whatever she does, even though she continues.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that do it for Shotzi Blackheart, which is quite scary.
And
there's people that do it for Shotzi Blackheart, it's quite scary.
She continues to get this position through nepotism as well.
Not really nepotism. She gets it because of who she's married to. I don't think it's nepotism.
Yeah, it's like indirect nepotism.
All right, I'll allow that then.
Because if the Samoans are protected in WWE, the Samoans' spouses
I can't wait for you to tear into the Samoans in the main event, to be fair.
Well, we will get there. Anyway, onto the mid card. We can sort of just cover this. I mean, obviously,
there was the title change that I said was going to happen, but this match was just
pretty perfectly.
This match was just added. It was similar to like Takeshita versus Ricochet. They just added it. It was good though. Like, I thought it was good for Nakamura to get a result. What will happen next? I've got no idea.
Well, he's won the belt, so let's hope he gets at least a little bit of a reign and a little bit of a chance to shine and show off, and
lose it to Pentagon Jr.
Well, drop it to an exciting face of some kind.
Pentagon Jr.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he will.
We'll see. I don't hate the idea. I think there's potential across SmackDown. If they get the right star in the right place, it could happen. But Nakamura can have some exciting matches and have a nice little run with it now. Hopefully,
Yeah, I'd hope so.
he's the sort of age where he could create one or two baby faces. You know, he could sort of like really get them over and drive them over. It shouldn't just be LA Knight. I think LA Knight's got to go through a bit of an arc now of like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. You should probably get a rematch against Nakamura, but you should lose it.
What should happen is Nakamura's video on him before the match started. That reality should just become true. The right thing for LA Knight right now is LA Knight to actually just say, you know what, Nakamura's right. LA Knight should just absolutely blast the fans. He should blast the fans.
Yeah, I mean, heel LA Knight would be interesting, just as long as you've got the right baby faces for him at the same time as having the right baby faces for Nakamura. But I thought the match was good. Nakamura hasn't missed a beat. LA Knight played a good supporting role to him. And then Nakamura won.
It was the right winner for me.
Yeah.
Like the minute I saw this match, I was like, yeah, Nakamura's winning this. Hopefully Nakamura's the one that got rid of the white strap IC title. I hope he gets rid of this crappy US title.
Yeah.
But he seems to have that effect. He wins a title, they change the design. He's won the US title, change this crappy design.
Let's see if he does. Let's see if he does.
Hopefully.
No title change for the triple threat.
Best match on the card.
A fun match.
It was the best match on the card. It was superior to the world title match, and it was superior to the main event.
I think overall, if you look at work, then yeah, probably. I mean, these three laid it in.
I think in all aspects, I think this had everything that you want in a match. It actually had storytelling.
Somewhat impressed with Kaiser, but I still don't think it should have been him. I mean, to be fair, right? If WWE see something in this guy to the point that he can actually be his own single star and still affiliated with Gunther, because you know it drives me crazy when it's like, okay, we can't be single stars. We either have to be a team and always on the same page, and I have to be managing you, or we're at war. It can't be, hey, we're friends, but you do your thing, I do my thing. I'll back you up, you back me up, but you don't always have to back me up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what this was. Like, Gunther, obviously he had a match later, but Gunther let Ludwig do this.
Yeah.
And I only Ludwig got the chance to like show what he can do, and he played it perfectly. Like I said on the preview, it was going to be Sheamus and Braun, power moves back and forth, and Kaiser's trying to steal one.
And he got caught with that bloody spear, which took him out. Like, that was a very perfectly timed spear by Braun Breaker.
And I love this story they're telling with Sheamus and the IC title. I love it.
He still needs to make sure he doesn't win it. Like, the perfect comeuppance to stories, he doesn't win it.
It's the way that I think it was Wade Barrett. He was like, "What does Sheamus have to do to win this damn title?" Because that's an arc we've been on, and it's a story we can follow. How many times has Sheamus failed at this belt?
5 times now. 6 times, yeah. 5-6 times.
Like, that's beautiful storytelling that he just can't do it. And
winning
he's been
the title
so close so many times.
And I'm still going to reiterate, and Billy, you're not going to like this, but I'm going to say this again. The perfect way to end this story is Sheamus loses a title versus career match. It should go as that.
That would be beautiful, actually.
It should go as far. SummerSlam 2025, even though he doesn't really need to. SummerSlam 2025, whoever's IC champion, Sheamus should have the gall to just say, you know what, I can't seem to win, my career's on the line. He loses clean in the middle of the ring to the champion. No shenanigans, just he loses clean.
Do you think Braun Breaker is waiting for Ilya Dragunov?
No.
To come back? No?
No. I don't think he cares. I don't think Ilya cares.
I'm more just being for the booking. Like, do you think that's your IC? I mean, would that be quick? Ilya was out for 9 months.
Well, we know what happens anyway when Eilidh returns and goes against Braun. Braun will just injure him again anyway because Braun just wants to hurt everyone. He'll just rip him
Yeah,
apart.
that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like we didn't get enough to care about with, like, I love Ilya Dragunov. On the main roster, he didn't get going enough. There wasn't enough. He had great moments and great standout, and obviously that triple threat was incredible. And he had really good singles matches as well. But he got injured, and I don't think you can just bring him back and have him go straight for Braun Breaker, who's IC champion. There would have to be a bit of building there. Ilya would have to prove that he is somewhat of a credible threat.
I'm still trying to find the justification that people have said that Carmelo Hayes has been a better NXT promotion since the draft in Braun Breaker. I don't know what drugs or alcohol people are on. Braun Breaker's been the best NXT call up in years. I've seen a lot of people say that. I've seen a lot of people say that Carmelo's the best call up, and I was like, "What are you smoking?"
No,
he isn't in Braun Breaker's league.
Braun Breaker could main event now.
He should be main event right now.
If Braun Breaker was fighting Gunther at the Rumble, you'd be like, "Yeah, okay."
I'd be like, "Yeah, win it one spear over."
Maybe not that, like, you know.
No, it would be. It would be one spear. It would be one spear over. It would just be
so you mean having a match and then do that?
Yeah, I mean, it would be
right.
those two.
That is I thought you meant you wanted like a 15-second match. I was like, no.
No, that would be the title defense.
Yeah, it was like, give us a match. Like, yeah.
The match would be 20-25 minutes, and then the rematch would be 15 seconds because Braun would just spear him, and that's it. Gunther's done.
It would depend. So what did you think of the Gunther match?
Awful.
I thought it was.
I'm sorry, but it was awful. It didn't fit either of them. And you know what's even worse? The bloody ending was predictable, and the follow-up on Raw was predictable. Finn Balor, scrap his contract.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe Finn Balor. I think you could take the quote from the preview. Maybe Finn Balor tries to cheat against Damien again, and Gunther goes out to stop him, and then Priest gets a near fall, and it's a 2 count.
Yep. Ironic, eh?
And then, and instead, Finn hit the move, and Gunther finished Priest with a powerbomb, but didn't see that Finn helped him. I'm wondering if
he did run and kick him though.
Yeah, but especially when you've watched but I think he did that more because it was like, get out my face. I don't think he saw what Finn did.
Probably.
Because I was pointing out, it's like, didn't Gunther see that? And Greg was like, no, Gunther didn't see that.
It was bad though. Like out their title matches, it was the worst one. I don't think it fit.
The thing is, like, so Gunther versus Finn is not. It's not a match you can believe. I don't care what you say.
And we know what's going to happen. Priest is going to cost him anyway.
Yeah, or Gunther's just going to beat him because Finn Balor is...
They won't allow it. They will have... Damien Priest will come out after he goes to hit the coup de grace, and he probably tosses him over the ring steps, and he lands on the apron, and Gunther probably power bombs him on the apron, Damien Priest, and he sends him back to the streets.
It's not Punk Drew, is it? Like, these guys aren't going to have the promo or the story. It'll be okay.
It's just not enjoyable for Gunther. If you're a Gunther fan, you're hating this crap.
He's not the match that you want Gunther to have because Finn is not the guy on the level.
There's only 2 people that you realistically want Gunther to have a match with. One of them isn't back yet, and the other's on the roster. Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar. They're the only 2. Brock Lesnar with no title, Braun Breaker with the title.
Further, I think you can have. I mean, depending on what the heck he's doing now, you can have AJ Styles
injured.
I mean, and Rey Mysterio.
Remember, he's injured. That's the same as Finn Balor. It's not believable.
I don't think so. Rey Mysterio's got more of like a legacy sort of thing, of ultimate underdog sort of stuff.
He does, but
Whereas
he
Finn
does, but it's
Balor
still not
has been a
believable.
lackey this year, and now he's suddenly like, I want the world title. It's like, no.
Even to your point though, and realistically, I'm just looking from that point based on what you said. It's still the same thing. Finn Balor is taller, stronger, and he does have the weight advantage on Rey Mysterio, but Gunther has the height, weight, and power advantage on both of them. Franco,
Yeah.
you put Gunther in a handicap match. The handicap is those two, because Gunther will just squash them both.
Yeah, I get that. It's not, my problem is not the size of Finn Balor.
This is like, I'm just not sure if they know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Gunther's
I think it's a rush.
Gunther's best match was against Tyler Bate, who is a lot smaller than him. But it was believable.
It's a bold take.
It was in the right atmosphere. It was a beautiful match. It was a long match, but it deserved the length. And every minute that they got, they used it.
I'm very surprised you said that was his best match.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm very
You think
surprised.
I would pick a Dragunov?
I was expecting you to say Pete Dunne. It's
good. I think Tyler Bate did it better.
I think his best match in WWE is probably the Tyler Bate one, but I would also say the Braun Breaker one as well, when he lost, is actually really good. Doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
But there's some interesting ones outside of WWE that definitely deserve a mention, but if you're looking purely current organization, I don't have any issue with the Tyler Bate one. I actually liked it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, so you've got Pete Dunne, who's waiting there as well, who's like a legacy pick, and you could go,
unless you call him Butch, and then you get nothing out of it anyway, except a hissy fit.
Like then you can have like a legacy match sort of thing, like, you know, like I've beat you and I'll do it again sort of thing. You know.
But even then, do you want to see Pete Dunne the world title scene? I like Pete Dunne, but no.
No, but I think as a challenger that you could quickly make credible and then beat.
Yeah, but then also at the end of that though, do you basically just get the feeling that you've just wasted someone? That's another thing as well that you don't want. This is actually tricky for Raw right now.
Depends what you do following it. Obviously, we spoke before. No company right now is doing a great job of rehabilitating people that lose.
It is a dangerous thing right now at the moment across.
I mean, obviously, Drew McIntyre came back on Raw.
Anyway, for what we know.
The only answer they have to someone getting beat is that they go away.
Yeah, exactly. Even that, like, if you look at the Raw angle as well, again, it's just the hypocritical stuff. That's all it is. You may as well name Raw right now to Monday Night Hypocrite, because that's what everyone is right now, and it's a little bit redundant.
What do you mean?
Like they're all Rollins, like Seth Rollins, for like his attitude towards everybody, it's always about Roman Reigns. Like his hypocrisy to get involved or not get involved. Punk, we know why Punk got involved. He doesn't care about anybody. He's just involved for himself. But Drew McIntyre comes back just to get his hands on them because they got involved with the Bloodline, and it's because they're involved with CM Punk. Like Drew McIntyre cannot seem to just dilute hypocrisy. Sami Zayn is the same. He moans at everybody, but yet he's also a hypocrite because he's still involved with this flaming story that just needs to go. Like they're all stuck in that one word. But the problem is you cannot disassociate them anymore. They're all blended into one thing that will never end. And it's quite a scary thing.
It's post Endgame. Everyone's got to live with the consequences of Endgame. Everyone's got to live with the Bloodline and the new Bloodline. I do actually prefer what they're doing to if people just ignored it. I do find it weird that some people ignore the Death Riders completely in AEW. Because it's kind of like, you know, this group of murderers have just showed up. I don't care if you're Chris
If there's a
Jericho,
threat,
you're a fucking tree now. You should probably care about that.
like if
Even
there's a
somewhat.
if there's a threat there, absolutely, you've got to deal with it to get rid of it. But the whole bloodline thing, now it's just the family dealing with each other. The likes of Seth Rollins, the likes of Sami Zayn, who ain't even family, they should have nothing to do with
So the
this.
difference is that everyone's interpreting someone else as the threat. So Rollins interprets Roman and Punk as the threats. Maybe Rollins now interprets Roman as a bigger threat to Punk, but we all know that Rollins didn't like Punk anyway. And Rollins' promo was very much, I should have done this 6 months ago. So that's before Punk was even involved for Roman. So that shows that Rollins hates Punk. Punk just wants the title. Drew hates both guys.
Yeah.
Sammy doesn't trust Rollins because Rollins hates Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy trusts Roman. Drew obviously hates Rollins, hates Punk, hates Zayn, hates Jay. Drew hates fucking everyone involved in this.
Mm-hmm. He's the only one that seems reasonable.
And then everything else just kind of fills in around that because the rest of them are actual bloodline members. You know who they hate and who they don't. I think it's at least the conflicted nature of Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn is at least easily justified.
It's just
Rollins didn't want to team with Roman, didn't want to team with the new bloodline. Rollins sees Punk take the spot that he was offered and gets mad at Sammy and gets mad at Punk, but gets mad at Sammy for doing it. And then Rollins, all his judgment is out the window, and he thinks that Zayn has attacked Jey Uso.
Yeah, but we all know who did it.
And Zayn thinks Rollins has attacked Jey Uso. So now they're both blaming each other for an attack that didn't. But we don't know. Although now I'm fairly confident it would be Drew then.
I'm actually very confident it's Seth Rollins.
You think it was?
Oh yeah. I don't think Drew McIntyre, even though Drew
in an interesting direction. I feel like the Drew McIntyre return was like guess he did it.
I think Drew is just the guy who's unfortunately going to get blamed. I think it is Rollins out of jealousy. I think if Drew McIntyre's going to seriously hurt someone, he's going to do it to your face.
Why would Rollins be jealous of Jay?
That stupid theme song.
But Rollins' song gets sung.
It's probably getting beat though. I think it's pure because I think he hates the fact that he's got out all the attention that he actually craves. Everyone knows it. Seth Rollins is a conniving, manipulating narcissist. Everyone knows it.
So you think this is Rollins' heel turn?
Yeah.
And if Rollins has attacked Jay, he'll definitely get booed.
Yes.
But what that would then line up is heel Rollins face Punk.
For now, since the main event offered no twist.
Let's go into the main event then.
Really could have been better. Just want to say, it could have been better. I'm surprised there was no twist.
With the people you got working in this match, it couldn't have been a lot better. I'm sorry. Not many. I think some of them could have been. I don't understand why Tama Tonga all of a sudden wanted to become Spider-Man. What's he doing?
And also, can we please understand why Bronson Reed is trying to do a tsunami splash where he broke his foot from the top of the cage? Like, this man ain't Rikishi.
Also, like, I know that you don't watch everything the other company does, but Edge did it this year.
And he got injured. Surely you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think, maybe I won't.
And I find it quite interesting that Copeland, Jimmy Uso, and Bronson Reed all got injured doing a cage dive, whereas Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky were unscathed.
Right. I think
Interesting. I mean, because Jim
something
Uso
like
broke his toe.
I think something like that comes down to the weight that you come down with. That's why, like, Rey Mysterio can get thrown off stuff. I'm not talking about the building again, but that's why Rey Mysterio can be like safely thrown off things or through things. Powerbomb to the outside of the ring, safer than if you did it to Drew McIntyre. It's the weight
In a
you
way.
come down with, because that weight all hits the ground at more force. And
But I've seen. But the thing
Yeah.
is, though, is I've seen Jeff Hardy do the same sort of thing, land on people the same sort of weight as him, and he's never been injured from
yeah,
that.
no, I get that, but I mean,
I think when you look at the Tiffany Strat, even though the match was ridiculously shit,
Mhm.
when you look at the women's dives, I actually think they're better positioned than the two men were. From the men's side, I actually think Stratton and Io Sky were better positioned than Bronson Reed and Jim Uso. But I also think as
It's
well, when you
such
look
a
at the talent, when
tired
you look,
thing, though, isn't it? Like, just
I
this,
think
this
position is
need
so
to
key.
dive off the top.
Yeah, but I think they're giving themselves more of an opportunity, whereas Bronson Reed is so close to the edge and he's trying to dive so much far distance. I think it's really even from Roman's perspective, even from Jim Uso, who did he dive on? Was it Bronson Reed he was diving on? Who did he dive on when he broke his foot?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was.
Let's say it's Fatu.
No, was it? I was Jacob Fatu. Sorry. They had them on tables that were also so far away as well. Like Jimmy Uso can jump that far, but he shouldn't be. He should be fairly close. Well, not too close to
Also,
the turnbuckle, but he should be closer. And I think it's
yeah,
really bad from all sides. And
and
obviously they've
Bronson
landed
doesn't
stupidly and
jump.
injured themselves. No, he belly flops.
Bronson doesn't jump, he falls.
I'm surprised he
Like,
didn't bounce up like a
I would
trampoline.
never call the tsunami a jump. It's a fall. It's a flop, as you say. It's a splash. But he doesn't
But he,
jump. So
in
you
this case,
can't
he
do that
should
off a
have.
cage.
Yeah, he should have done it from the top turnbuckle onto
Just
Roman.
guess who else fell off a bloody cage? Adam Copeland. He fell. He didn't jump. He fell and he broke his foot or his leg.
Broke his foot, yeah.
It's like, and that's put him on the shelf. Well, he's still on the shelf.
Until January when he comes back from finishing a TV thing he's doing. He's doing a TV series.
Hope he can limp.
No, he's fine. He's fine. He's doing a TV schedule for a TV show. I can't remember which one it is. That's the only reason why he's not.
In terms of the match, like hitting the emotional beats and doing the job, this did the job. It was exciting enough to be War Games. And the most exciting thing for me, unfortunately, for Team of Bloodline was not anything that Team of Bloodline did, but it was this boiling tension between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And the way that so the Usos enter first for the face team.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to the third guy coming in, even the odds for the faces for OG Bloodline, OTC Bloodline. And Punk goes, he's preparing and everything like that. He's taping up his wrist again, sort of that stuff. Buzzer goes, he goes to leave, and Roman because Roman is flawless. He's flawless as a character in anything. This guy should be in every movie because he just reaches over and grabs the bar of the cage and stops Punk from going and just nods towards Sammy. And Sammy plays it perfectly as well because he sort of looks back unsure and goes, well, okay, whatever that was about. And then you watch it, and they on purposely did this. The camera lingers on them for 5 to 10 seconds. It just holds. And Punk is giving Roman a fucking death stare. And does Roman look at him once? No. Roman's eyes don't move. He just stays exactly where he was looking. And again, for Roman, it's as much what he does say as what he doesn't say. Sometimes when Roman just gives you that look or that action, that aura just oozes off him. And he is quickly, dare I fucking say it, becoming one of my greatest of all time. Because this guy, as a wrestling character, is unmatched for what I've seen. He doesn't break. He doesn't pander. Every time he does an acknowledge me, that isn't for the fans. All right? That's
What's
for
up,
him.
Rich?
That's for his ego. Even now, he's not this baby face. He's still Roman Reigns. We just like him more than the other guys. So when he goes acknowledge me, yeah, we're going to acknowledge you. But we know that next week you could turn around, be a see you next Tuesday, and we'll boo the acknowledge me. And that is a guy who is a convincing character. Then you get the flip side, when Roman goes to go out, and Punk just barges past him. And Roman gives Punk the death stare. And it's brilliant. And unfortunately, a match was in the way of this. This character work in the cage, in the small cage, was more consequential than the actual match. And that's kind of the problem with War Games as a whole for me. It's a 40-minute match where the actual important bits happen in about 2 minutes.
Yep. Not like War Games of old, though, where the War Games of old, it really was fighting to the death. Or
Yeah,
first
feel
enough,
like that.
first. Now it's just like a War Games used to mean it was a first submission or it was a first to KO an opponent. It really was you're fighting for it.
Submission or surrender, right?
Yeah. But that's what Dusty Rhodes came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's any way to win. I'm not a fan of it. Personally, I would rather they stuck to the tradition of it's first to surrender or whatever. It actually feels more like a war. Like you don't go to pin the opposition in a war. You go to full on break them.
No, and this should have been, and this is why it should have been the blow off end of the feud, because we know it's not the end of the feud, because they said
this should have ended in the pin. Yeah, like this should have ended in the pin.
PC, which tells us that he's going to fight Solo again, and we don't need to see it again. Yeah. Solo ate all of the babyface finishers.
This should have ended with a guillotine, not a pin.
It should have. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. It's like if you really wanted the definitive end, and like you're saying, if you want it then and tap out or pass out, should have been a guillotine.
It's what I don't like about WWE's version of War Games matches. They can be good, but they just miss the point.
And what would always be better if it was guillotine and Roman didn't let go? Because then who would have stopped him? Jay. Because Jay was left in the guillotine and Jimmy had to come out and stop him. So once again, revisiting beats of the story, and Jay, like, it doesn't have to lead to, like, you know, Jay Uso suddenly hates Roman again. But if Jay was sort of like tapping Roman, like, get off him, he's still fat, like, get off him.
It would be interesting if it was them and not Jacob. You know, it would be very interesting if Jacob just went. I mean, I love you, Solo, but when you're getting guillotined.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
See ya. like this is my group now. We're all going to become werewolves.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead it. You can go.
Exactly, and then he gets rid of all the bloody island.
Because the thing is, then Solo would be interesting because he'd be on like a path of redemption, and you could potentially play that out.
That bloody no-selling spot. I'm quite surprised you've not mentioned that once.
Oh! Don't worry. Don't you fucking worry. Yeah, my favorite man did his favorite thing again. Jacob Fatu doesn't sell.
This one, see, I can justify other ones, as I've said before.
Mm-hmm.
I can justify other no selling spots.
Yep.
I can't justify a toolbox.
No.
Because that's a metal object across
Filled
the
with
cranium.
other metal objects.
Across the cranium.
When CM Punk was hitting these guys, it made the sound that metal was inside it. So even if it's not a hammer, there's at least screwdrivers in there.
With added weight.
Like a wrench of some kind, yeah. Pliers, maybe. Like there are things in there. If you've ever picked up a toolbox that's had stuff in it, it's bloody heavy.
Oh yeah, they are heavy.
But also,
this
to
really
go back on my earlier point on why I don't have a problem with this, a toolbox would obviously be under a ring. Because if something breaks on the ring, someone has to go and fix it.
Mhm.
That doesn't need explained to me. The toilet seat does. The spray painted bin does. Toolbox, no. Fire extinguisher, no. That's got to be there in case of a fire. I'm fine with things that should just be there anyway, or things that have been established. So the toolbox is fine to me. Also, Punk's used the toolbox multiple times now. It's kind of what he's doing. That's fine. It works. But yeah, I feel like this match did what it had to do to get where we need to go, but ultimately where we're going is not where we should be going, because the tension was Roman and Punk, and instead we've got another Roman and Solo match, and potentially another Roman and Solo match. They might do Rumble and Mania.
It'll be... I thought we were going to get Punk Roman at the Rumble because it would have been more interesting. But in a way, it did... I get your point. I mean, it does have a... like you said, it was trying to add up to what it means. There's just one problem with it. You have the tension, but then you took it away with the handshake. I wouldn't have shook his hand. And this is me being CM Punk here. I wouldn't have shook Roman's hand. Like, for me, if he offers my hand, I would have just done this. In front of his face.
Yeah, but to be fair, they also did that when they were all doing the... And Punk was like...
but Punk's not going to conform to that shitty faction. He's not going to put his finger up. I would have stuck my middle finger up with him.
Punk is so real, though. And, you know, we're about to wrap things up, but just to comment on what you said on Raw, beautiful. But you've been thinking about me for 6 months. I don't think about you at all. You were a champion then. You had something I want. You've got nothing now. I'm here to handle my business. I'm here to handle business. I've got things to do. I've got business to take care of. So stay out of my business.
Is it just bad though that when they two punched her, it was like watching two 10-year-olds try to throw a punch, and you thought it was like it was.
They could have connected better.
No, they could have acted like men. Instead, they acted like children with punches. It was so bad.
To be fair, Seth acts like a child first because he pushes it down. It's like, I also, you know me, I love when lines get turned on each other. Like, remember when Cody and Punk did that thing about I'm more American Dream than you, I'm more CM Punk than you. I love the Punk opened his his lines at Seth with "You talk too much and you don't listen enough." So what's the first thing Seth says back to him? "You talk too much and you don't listen enough. This is my business," and shoves him down. And I was like, "Oh, we're doing it." And then the scrap got broken up pretty quickly.
It was just really bad. That could have been better.
Yeah, the actual scrap could have been better for sure. It could have connected better. It didn't quite. Yeah. I think though, as I've said before, when a scrap looks bad and unplanned, it's actually better sometimes because you at least, like, these two guys are having a unchoreographed fight. so you can kind of buy that, not everything's going to connect flush. That's why you don't really see many Hurricane Ranas hitting bar fights.
Sadly.
It would be funny, but there's a time and place for it. But yeah, you got anything else to add about War Games? Because there's a time and a place. We know what time it is, and it's about time I wasn't in this place. So you got anything left to say?
I don't think there is much. It's certainly been an interesting one. Like we say, the pay-per-views, they were hit and miss.
They were. I don't think Survivor Series is the strongest showing for WWE this year. I don't think it's the weakest.
It's the same with Full Gear.
I think Full Gear's the weakest. I would still.
I would say Bash in Berlin and All Out are like
I'd
those two.
probably say Money in the Bank and All Out personally.
Yeah, I just hate it. I just hate Bash in Berlin anyway. I
was
just hate
between
it.
All Out and the one where Edge broke his leg.
Yeah.
Was that Double or Nothing or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd have to go back and look at it match for match on the card, but All Out is horrible. Favorite wrestler top 10, both of you. Jeez, that is some question to hit us with at 2 hour mark.
We've got our roster debate show as well coming up next week.
Yeah, so maybe that question will be answered next time.
But is this a top 10 current or all time? Because
I don't want to shortchange the friends. So in no particular order, Cody, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Ilya Dragunov, Malachi, Aleister Black, Jay White, Takagi, Drew, Pete Dunne, and I don't know. I'll say I'd be happy enough if I said Rollins. I've probably forgotten a stinker there.
Okay.
That's current.
If I'm saying current, so from 10 back. So
or just do it like I did in no particular order.
All right, no particular order.
Yeah.
Top 10 current. Josh Alexander, Takeshita, Okada, Braun Breaker, Shingo Takagi, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh yeah. Oops.
I still will. How many is that?
I've got 8 fingers up.
Okay, 2 more. Nick Nemeth.
Okay, yeah. It's always tough finding that 10th guy or gal.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Fair enough. So apparently, men of all
time.
That could take
That's
a while.
Easy.
Oh, is it?
All time top 10 for me is easy.
Okay.
If it's all time, Kurt Angle, The Rock, AJ Styles, The Undertaker, Mick Foley, Sting, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Zack Sabre Jr., and Josh Alexander.
Okay, and mine's going to be like the filthiest WWE fan stuff ever. So Cena, Triple H, Rey Mysterio. I'd still put Cody in there for what he's doing.
Mhm.
Just love that man. Finn Balor. Aleister Black's probably still among the favourites I've ever seen, for sure. See, I've
Leaving
got probably. I was
Leaving
never
out,
too into Taker.
leaving out. Actually, I like Mick Foley, but I'm taking out Mick Foley. I would say Eddie Guerrero over him. Actually, it's hard to leave
Fair.
out Eddie from my top 10
Eddie's
list.
good.
Jay White as well is hard for me to leave out on any list as well. So Jay White's just an undisputed like.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, obviously no. All time's so tough because it was so long.
Kenny
ago.
Omega, to be fair, is an all time for both of us.
Did I say Edge?
No.
No, Edge.
Fair shout, me. He's quality.
And then other people that I didn't really watch. No, I can do this. I can do this. See, Will Ospreay's been disqualified. He's not fucking going on there. He's a ridiculous joke of a fucking wrestler, and he can melt. AJ Styles would probably qualify. Love AJ. I mean, is anyone like retired that have been actually like, you know? No. I'd probably just say Drew and Eilidh to round it out because.
When I look at my top 10,
Roman will probably get on there, but I still have to consider what Roman did before, which wasn't great.
I mean, my favourite growing up was definitely The Rock, but once I got to about 7, 8, 9 years old, my favourites were Kurt, Brett, and AJ.
Yeah, I can't say who my favourite was growing up, so we just say Rey Mysterio and we move on.
To be fair, saying AJ isn't saying Rey Mysterio isn't a bad thing either.
No,
but Eddie Guerrero
was someone else before it, but we don't mention him anymore. So it was Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I mean, like in my top 20, there's names like in my top 20 of all time. Like it's hard to leave him out, but Jay White's in there. Like it's hard for me not to leave out Jay White. He's incredible.
Because modern day workers, like the modern day work, still impacts like your all time stuff. Like wrestling's in a good place right now for people to actually become like your favorite all time people. I mean,
look at my top 10 list. Actually, I left out my favorite masked wrestler of my top 10. He's in my top 20, and that's Jushin Liger. He will always be my favorite masked wrestler.
There's a lot, and I imagine if I wrote the list down, it would be a little bit different.
Amazing Red. Like if he hadn't been such an absolute dirty paedophile, Marty Scurll would have been in my top 20. if Chris Benoit, another one, like would have been in my top.
Yeah.
I still will. But Chris Benoit, if what happened, he would have been in my top 20.
Rey Mysterio was always.
Would Austin Aries be in your top 20? No. Austin Aries was a good wrestler, but I don't think he was better than what many have thought. Like when he won the world title, for example, in TNA, he got carried by Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode's another one. He'd be in my top 20. Like Bobby Roode's an incredible wrestler. Like Ricky Steamboat, another one.
Yeah,
incredible
there's
pro wrestler.
So many, and it's definitely a show for another time. But it is the time 619 that I got to get going.
Me too.
But it was fun to do this. We'll be doing it again next week, I imagine.
Yes, we will.
Be the way. But yeah, this has been the double review, hit and miss. But in the words of the Blue Stones, we just hit. We don't miss, even if the wrestling sometimes does.
Absolutely. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, to everyone that's in the chat tonight, thank you very much. To our 230th subscriber, Nick Teodoro, we'll be catching your shows on Friday because it'll be good to keep an eye out. I'll pay a look, I'll pay a visit. But in the meantime, to everyone that's watched, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next week. And simply put, don't be cute. Bye, guys.